Hi guys, today we're gonna be reviewing Dogman, Big Jim Beleives by Dave Pilkey with your favorite friend, Ibrahim, the book reviewer. So, this is the newest series from Dave Pilkey, and it's stepped up its game from book covers. From this So, this book you can buy in a bookshop or you can get it in the library, but I don't think they have it because it's new. So I would recommend bookshop. Yeah. So here's Meet the Team. I read it out loud. Dogman. He's got the head of a dog, a body of a man, and a heart of a hero. Big Jim, which is the character on front. He's basically a walking, talking hug. Currently, Big Jim is serving time in cat jail for a crime that he didn't commit. But that's another story. Okay, next, Grandpa. A big, selfish meanie. He shares a cell with Big Jim in the upper. So that's all. That's all. So I don't want to read all of it, but this work. So you can read. So I already finished these three. So you can do this. You can do Little Petey and Molly, Sarah Hadoff, Little Jim, the mom and dad, baby grandpa, the parents of grandpa, ADHD, and this elephant dude. I don't know. Let's get right into this book. So this is the first chapter of. This is where it shows Sarah Hadoff as a kawaii character, and then there's the dog and the buildings are alive. He just talks about what's happening, and then at prison, the big grandpa is blowing his horn in Big Jim, which Big Jim still likes it, and Grandpa is trying to rage bait Bo, but Bro rage bait him. That's insane. And then they turn into their costumes. So this grandpa is named Sprinkles, and Big Jim is named Commander Cupcake. And they go through the secret tunnel they made. And then and this is funny. So everybody likes them because they saved the world in the last book, Big Jim Begins. But I'll show it in a different video if I have it. So, and then Dogman just runs through all the people because he helped in the last book. And then he does this cool thing. Then he pretends to be boss or something, and then he pretends these guys are dumb. See, look. And then he fights the monsters. And I can do flip-around for you guys. This is called Salutin' and Booted. I need to do it like this so I can actually do the flip-around properly. There we go. Now next one is called and the next one is called Skullin' and Drillin'. So after that, he just says that he battled the bullies, but it was too easy, so he just hugs them. And then Bro just says, and his heads pop off. And then they say, seriously? And then they get angry for the dumbest reason. Because you didn't ask him to get a hug. Those guys are actually dumb. I feel bad now for their brain cells. And they were attacking the city, but they didn't care because it hugs. That's weird. So they hide in a trash can. And then the next chapter begins, which is the elephant dude. I don't know what that name says. And this is the planet of Precious. Looks like a cartoon. And then this is Professor Popsicle, aka PP. And then he does but he puts a spray so the guys won't hug on them, and then they can fight. But they don't. And then they said, but there's a second weakness, but we're not allowed to tell because the story plot. And then they go into the ship with all their weapons, and we get actually to see the cutie's base, and he's screaming. And now they leave. Next chapter, chapter 5. So they're talking about stuff of backstory of when they talk about the children one, and then sadly there's a meteor came, and then the fire destroyed the house, but they couldn't go anywhere because everyone would get lost. Grab. What do we look like? Charity, and but they went to Battery Park, which here. And this is chapter 6 about baby grandpa. I like it how baby it looks so oldish. And this is the mom. I think this is the dad. I don't know by the colors. And then his name is called Grandpa the Cat. And then everyone laughs because the grandpa is the cat. That's the name. But even though he's a baby still. And then he wishes to go to the big city. And then he gets a car, and then he leaves as soon. And then he says, "Happy birthday." Now he's in big city, but he's still not happy. So guess what? He wants $1 billion, and he finds his own thing. He got $1 billion, but he's still not happy. And then he needs love. And he thinks that he needs a wife and stuff. And get married. And even though he gets a wife, he's still not happy. And then he just destroys everything. And leaves. And it's that. And he sees life is depressing. Yeah. And then Big Jim, aka Commander Cupcake, says that that it's not true, and that just believe. You just believe it. And here's the interesting part. This is just a guy just telling about the second weakness and stuff. Don't hide it and stuff. I always skip it. And they leave, right? And they turn into chibi kawaii characters. Look at that. Look. And this is horror when you see the little guy's face. It's so horror, scary. Made me cry once. Okay, now it's about them chibi, and then breaking news is about Sarah, and then this is Sarah, yeah. And then we go into here. He just talks about everything is bad, and then they go into their costumes, and then ADHD also got it, if you see. And I feel bad for him. He looks weird now. And then they put into the costumes and stuff. Now they're going to space. They go destroy go inside the ship infiltrator. And then they find something. Cupcakes. Nice. And I'll tell you what happens a few. So those cupcakes actually help them turn back to their regular selves and not their chibi selves. But that'll happen later. And then Molly goes to find her mech suit. And then we finally find some characters from a different universe. The frogs. And you can see that now Big Jim and Grandpa have their own merch. They have figures, their own figures. These characters are from Cat Kid Comic Club, if you don't know. And I would show Cat Kid Comic Club if I next time for a different video. But for now it's Dog Man. And then look, and then Bro says this. Is this appropriate for a children's book? And probably not. So why are they publishing this? Oh my god. By the way, this is a secret. This guy is Chief's dad. And this Dogman, but if he was a dog, and he's still a dog, and this is when he was still a kid. And then they just talk, and the Dogman, and then another Flipperama because of Dogman. Let's do it. It's called Now and Cut It Out. But if you read here, it says Pup Rally, but it's supposed to say Pup Really Pup. But it says Rally Pup. He's bro is still a kid. Okay. Next, and then he says, bad dog, bad puppy. And then he says, what are you done? And then this is their house. Small. So small. Like a hotel, a motel place. And then the sad but little Jim, right over here, the little kid, made a fort. Here. And then they give him marshmallows and the sticks. But it's already cooked. You don't need to get the... Instead of a campfire, they just put a flashlight. And then they pray. And then they pray for 2 hours. And then little Jim sleep. And then the grandpa says, and now it's grandpa's story of baby grandpa. They just turned back to normal and the sprinkles, but grandpa is still a kawaii character. And then they just talk, and then the rest of the book, and then the end. That's all. If you want to read more about it, I'll find out. And if you buy it, this notes that straws. I did something that it's new. If you have noticed, there's no PD. So if you want to scan this right now, you can. Where's PD? And I already scanned it, and I've seen some crazy stuff already. But I won't tell you. Just find out for yourself. Bye.